Lori with Hamburg Honey. Today we're going to show you how to mark a queen. We've spoken to lots of beekeepers who've had a lot of issues with this. They're scared to handle her. They've killed lots of queens doing this. We suggest practicing on drones. We'll mark them in hot pink so they don't get confused with a queen when you open your hive and see a marked bee and think it's a queen. This right here, we put these old frames in here with a queen excluder so they can hatch out, and then we're going to throw these frames away. They're just old frames. It's one way you can get rid of old frames without hurting the brood inside. So I'm going to catch a drone. So he's in there. It has a door. You just close the door, slide it up. The workers can get out. And then you just push the plunger up until his back is up against the grid. He's trying to get out. So the worker can get out, but the queen and the drones cannot. So I have him pushed up. You can see his thorax right there, which is what you'll see when you have your queen in here too. And you just put a little dot on there. And then you can push the plunger down to let her dry so it doesn't smear on her eyes or antennas. And once she's dried, put the frame back. Once she's dried for a minute or two, then you can just open it up and she'll crawl out back into the hive. I don't know if he will. There we go. Come on. You don't want to come out? There you go. I don't know if he's happy to be pink or not. So we will probably see him in another hive because we see them drift from hive to hive, even if they're marked or not. I'm going to put that back on. That doesn't matter. Drones are allowed in all the hives, it seems. We'll put this back on. See, they've made comb on the top because we don't have any other frames in there. It's filled with honey too. We will close them up, and Mike will show you how to mark the queen.
And once all this brood hatches out of these frames, we'll take them all out of this top box. We'll take care of that comb that they've built down from the inner cover, and we'll force everything back down into the lower box, and then we will put a honey super on. It's getting to be that time of year. We're having a really strong flow right now.
When you're marking your queens, you're going to want to use water-based markers. We got these at Hobby Lobby. They sell them at all the bee stores, Dadant, Man Lake. They all sell these marking, but we wanted a whole package of them, so they were 21 bucks for the whole package of them, or they're like 7 bucks a piece for whatever color of the year it is. Every year is a different color internationally, so you know how old that queen is.
This year the color is red, but we have a slightly different marking system that we use for our own queens that we breed. We generally don't sell our bred queens. We will sell queen cells, but we don't sell bred queens. We mark them a certain way to keep track of their familiar lines, to know which mothers breed which queens. So we like to keep track of them that way instead. It makes it a lot easier on all of our paperwork. So this is a queen that just got bred, and we are going to check on her, see if she's laying yet. And if she is laying a good pattern, then we'll mark her. And this family line we actually mark in white. So we will be giving her a white mark. That way, when we do inspections and do hive checks, we'll know exactly which queen that she actually came from our apiary. So we will get started here, and we'll see if she has a good laying pattern. I'm going to hand the camera over to Lori, and I'm going to start digging in a little bit. This is a small hive, small nuke, so I don't always necessarily need to wear my veil. It's easier to see the queen and see the eggs without it, but if they start to get a little bit chippy, I'll throw my veil on real quick. So We'll give them a little smoke here. Open them up. Always check your lid. Make sure the queen's not walking around on it, because sometimes she definitely is. So, the outside frames, this is just some food we put in this one for this new nuke. So they've got plenty of stores of food yet. We put an empty frame in there for them to work on so they can start drawing that out. Then these 4 frames is where the brood was and where this queen should be laying at this point. So right now there's still capped brood in these frames from when we first made the split. And if you actually take a look, this entire frame is full of pollen. Look at all the different colors. There's probably 8 or 10 different sources of pollen just in this frame, and there's a little bit of capped brood right in the center. I don't see her on this side, so we'll gently flip it over. Take a look at this side, and I can see some brand new laid eggs right in this area. It's unfortunate we can hardly ever get these on camera to be able to see the eggs because they're so tiny, but she is in here laying, and she does have looks like a good pattern. She's got everything full that was open. I'll check this little queen cup, make sure there's nothing in it, and there isn't. So we'll start on the next frame. And, oh, there she is right here.
Ooh, it's windy.
Right here walking around. Oh, she's checking on cells. She actually measures every single cell with her head and antenna to see what type of egg she's going to lay in it. So, now this is how I mark queens. A lot of people grab the queen with their fingers. I'm chicken to do that. I'm always afraid that I'm going to smash her. So what I'll do is I'll get her to walk on my hive tool and then set her right inside of the queen catcher. Now when you close this, be extra careful that she's not anywhere near this sliding gate, because you can fairly easily cut off a leg, cut off her head. Definitely something you don't want to do. So we will put this frame back in right now, just to keep the bees nice and quiet.
And it doesn't hurt to practice on marking a drone. It doesn't hurt them. You can practice on 100 of them if you want.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend practicing on drones. Makes it less stressful when you're marking one of the queens. So I've got her in there, not super tight. You can see she can move around a little bit. I maybe have to get her just a little bit tighter. Then all you do is just put a tiny dot right on her thorax. Don't push down on the pen, because a large gush of ink will come out. So we've got her marked.
Put her in the sun a little.
We've got her marked, and we pulled the plunger down so she can dry out. And then I'll actually set her down here so the bees still know where she is. They'll go in there right away, see what's going on, see why she's in the little cage. And after 30 seconds to a minute, we'll open that gate up so she can come out of there and go right back down into the frames and keep laying eggs. So I will slowly and carefully open her up. So you can see that the nurse bees can actually get in there with her, because those doors, these spaces are large enough for workers but not for drones or queens.
Kind of like a queen excluder.
So like I said, opening it up, be just as, like, if I were to, her head is sticking out right there, if I were to just to continue to open it, it would just kill her immediately. So we'll wait until she's out of the way. She's trying to get out right here. Okay, now she's out of the way a little more. Alright, that should actually open enough. She should be able to get out now. The other workers will go in there with her, try to coax her to come out, and she'll find her way out of there. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes, but she'll work her way out eventually. And if I can see where she is, actually, I'll open this up all the way. Oh, there she is. She's walking out right here. And she'll take a step out onto the frame, and she'll walk right down in there.
She wants to go back in the queen catcher. Why is she trying to walk in the queen catcher? Oh, there she goes. She's on the, I think she's on the other side of it.
Oh, there she went, right down into the frame right there. So, that's how we mark our queens. I try to stay very hands-off. I don't trust myself holding onto the queen with my finger. I'm always scared that I'm gonna injure her, crush her, and then we're back to zero and have to start all over again. So, that's the system that I like to use. And like I said, I would recommend that you practice quite a bit on drones first until you feel comfortable doing it. If you want to use just your bare fingers to do it, go ahead and try. But like I said, that's not particularly for me. So that's it for today's video. I encourage you guys to get out, work on your bees, and have fun with them. Thanks.